Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel, Cooking Healthy Urban Style. We are all about homesteading in an urban setting, city and suburbs. We call it urban steadings. This is homesteading urban style. and Today I'm going to be showing you 9 different seasonings to stock your pantry. This is going to be healthy for you. You know, the stuff that you're buying in the stores, those little packets are full of chemicals and all kinds of things that you really don't want. And it costs a lot of money to buy a little packet. So this way, it's inexpensive. You know what you're putting in there. The equipment that you're going to need, I recommend something like this, a little Ninja or a grain mill, because some of the seasonings you're going to want to grind down to a powder. For example, bouillon. You're going to need measuring cups, measuring spoons, and something to put your seasonings in. I like the little half-pint mason jars, and I love these lids. They're from Mason Jar Lifestyle. They're spice lids, and they have where you can dial different ways to dispense it. From small holes to large holes, right, to wide openings. So today, the first thing we're making is ranch dressing. Ranch dressing is definitely one of your big staples in your kitchen. You would be hard-pressed to find a salad dressing in the stores, and I've scanned them all with my Yuka app. Ones that don't have chemicals and preservatives and, you know, thickeners and all these other things in them is almost impossible to find. So if you make your ranch dressing, you'll always have it on hand. It's easy to make a salad dressing. You just add it to milk, or even better, buttermilk. I like to use it as a seasoning. I mix it in with my hamburger meat when I'm making hamburgers or cheeseburgers or my meatloaf, almost anything really. So to make your ranch dressing, here's what you'll need. You'll do 8 teaspoons of garlic powder, 4 teaspoons of onion powder, 3 teaspoons of parsley, 3 teaspoons of dill. If you have chives or dried chives, add that, 3 teaspoons of that, 2 teaspoons of salt, a half a cup of powdered milk or powdered buttermilk, and then 2 tablespoons of dried onion. And you just put that in your jar, mix that up, and you are good to go. Next, we are making Italian seasoning. This can be used so many different ways. If you make a salad dressing, vinegar, oil, and Italian seasoning. And of course, in all your sauces and Italian dishes, in your olive oil to dip into. And the way that this is made is you're going to do a 1/3 cup dried oregano, a 1/4 cup dried basil, and this is actually basil from my garden that is in the process of drying. And so I suggest everybody has a herb garden. Some of your basic herbs, you trim them. The more that you trim them, the fuller and healthier that plant will become. And to dry it, you just lay it out on like a napkin or a towel, let it dry. Once it's dried, then you just kind of crumple it all up and put it into your jars. So the next thing would be thyme. This is 3 tablespoons of thyme, 2 tablespoons of rosemary, which I don't have any in a jar. This is from my garden. I just cut that, so I'll let that dry. But I can cut that up and put that into the mixture, cut it up very fine, and it will dry in your mixture. Next is marjoram, and this calls for 1½ tablespoons of marjoram. If you don't have that, you can add more oregano. Then you're going to do sage, and that is 1½ tablespoons of sage. And again, here is my sage. So once it's dry, I just do this and turn it into a nice fine powder. Now, if you like, you can also add some parsley. You can add some garlic or onion powder to your mixture if you prefer to do that too. Now we're going to do pumpkin pie spice. The holidays are right around the corner. They're going to be here before you know it. And pumpkin pie spice, you're going to be using this not just to make your pumpkin pies, but remember you've got cookies and muffins and all kinds of wonderful things that you're going to use this for. And you can probably use it all year round too. So to make pumpkin pie spice, what you need is 1/4 cup ground cinnamon. It's mostly cinnamon in this recipe. 1/4 cup ground cinnamon, 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon ground ginger, 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon ground nutmeg, 2 teaspoons allspice, and 2 teaspoons ground cloves. Allspice is interesting. You would think allspice, like there's multiple spices in there, but it's actually not. It's actually one spice, and it's it's kind of a dark brown color. So that is your pumpkin pie spice. So now we're going to make some chili seasoning. And to do that, the first thing that you're going to do is 1/4 cup brown sugar. I like dark brown sugar. You can also use date sugar. Date sugar is wonderful. If you're diabetic, try using date sugar. Or if you're craving sweets, eating some dates. They won't spike your blood sugar. Next is, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 6 tablespoons chili powder, 2 teaspoons smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon cayenne pepper, and 1 teaspoon salt. All right, next is taco seasoning, Taco Tuesday. You can also use this as a fajita seasoning. You would just add oregano to it. And you might want to just add a few other spices just to change it up a little bit. But to make taco seasoning, you need 1/2 cup of chili powder, 1/8 cup of cumin, 1 tablespoon smoked paprika, 1 tablespoon garlic powder, 1/2 cup of onion powder, 1 teaspoon cayenne pepper, and 1 tablespoon of salt. And with the fajita seasoning, you add oregano, a little bit of oregano. Isn't that interesting? And some black pepper. Now I'm going to tell you how to make a refried beans seasoning, and that might seem odd to you, but I do make my own refried beans. I can them. So when I do that, I want to add seasoning to flavor up the refried beans. But even if you don't can your own beans for refried beans, you may want to have this seasoning to add a little bit of a punch to the refried beans that you purchase at the store, ready-made in a can. Or maybe at the restaurant you have some take-home that has the refried beans, and you may want to add an extra little punch to that too. So refried beans, I just canned a bunch, so I have just a little bit left in my jar. But to make the refried beans, you'll need 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon chili powder, 1/2 teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1/2 teaspoon dried oregano, 1 to 2 teaspoons of salt to taste. And then if you want to add a little kick, you can add some cayenne pepper, about 1/4 teaspoon. You can also add some cloves and some garlic powder if you want to do that too, depending on how you want, to taste, how you want to flavor it. Next is beef bouillon. Who doesn't have a jar of beef bouillon in your pantry? You use it for everything, right? It's a staple. So beef bouillon, this is what it's going to look like. The measurements I'm giving you will fill a jar like this. This will last you a long time. First, I'm going to read you the ingredients on a store-bought beef bouillon. So salt is the main ingredient, maltodextrose, autolyzed yeast extract, caramel color, silicon dioxide, carrot powder, onion powder, contains 2% or less of beef fat, canola oil, beef stock, medium chain triglycerides, sulfites, sunflower oil, natural flavors, and spice. Who knows what natural flavors and spice are, but it's the very last thing in it. So to get started on this, you're going to do 6 tablespoons of a mushroom powder. It can be a blended variety or shiitake. Mushroom powder really gives it that beef flavor. Mushrooms are a great substitute for beef. They even smells a little bit like beef, and it's so healthy for you. You can mix this into your coffee, your hot chocolate. A lot of benefits to mushrooms. Next, you're going to do 2 tablespoons of tomato powder. This is the tomato flakes from when I canned my tomatoes. I dried the skins and I crumpled them, and I like to keep them flakes, but if I need powder, I just blend it right in here. So these ingredients actually are going to go into the Ninja, and we're going to blend them down because you don't want chunks in your bouillon, you do want it as a powder. So again, 6 tablespoons mushroom powder, 2 tablespoons tomato powder, 2 tablespoons salt, 2 tablespoons of tamari powder, which I don't have tamari powder. I couldn't find it. I'm sure it's somewhere. But my beef bouillon seems to be fine without it. Next is 2 tablespoons nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast comes as flakes. Again, you'll grind that up. 2 tablespoons onion powder, 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon mustard powder, 1 tablespoon oregano, 1 tablespoon black pepper, 2 tablespoons of thyme, 1 teaspoon celery seed, and 1/4 teaspoon red pepper flakes. Don't put a whole lot in there, 1/4 teaspoon. And then you're also going to add 4 bay leaves. You'll grind that up and you're going to be amazed. It really does smell. It's beef bouillon. It's amazing. All right, I am just so happy to share that with you. Ready for the next bouillon? We're doing chicken bouillon. Another one, a staple in your pantry all the time. Use it like crazy, right? So the recipe that I'm giving you makes quite a bit, makes this much. Now, again, I'm going to read you the ingredients on the store-bought chicken bouillon. Salt, it's the main ingredient. Multidextrose, onion powder, carrot powder, autolyzed yeast extract, silicone dioxide, contains 2% or less of chicken broth, canola oil, chicken fat, medium chain triglycerides, sunflower oil, sugar, and once again, natural flavor and spice. It's the smallest ingredient in there. We don't know what that means or what that is. So to make your chicken bouillon, you're going to need your Ninja again because these ingredients need to be ground down really fine to a powder. And it starts with 1/2 cup of nutritional yeast, 2 tablespoons of salt. Then you're going to do 1/8 cup of garlic powder, 1/8 cup of onion powder, 1/8 cup dried basil. There's the basil from my garden. 1/8 cup dried oregano, 1/8 cup rosemary. I don't have any. I have to dry that. Again, that's from my garden. And then about 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. Sorry for a little bit of confusion. I have a recipe that makes like a huge amount, and so I had to break it down. But these measurements right here will fill a 1/2 pint jar, and that's really ideal. I don't think you need a quart of chicken bouillon, but if you do, just quadruple this recipe. Okay, that is your chicken bouillon. We have covered beef bouillon, chicken bouillon. Now it's time to go to pork. So this is pork seasoning. It's not a bouillon, but it's a seasoning. And you know, you're going to use this on all sorts of things, roasts and chops, right? So to make pork seasoning, you need that chicken bouillon that we made. And I would do about 3 or 4 tablespoons of the chicken bouillon, 2 tablespoons of oregano, 2 tablespoons basil, 2 tablespoons of rosemary, again, out of my garden. It's not dried yet. Again, I could cut that up very fine, put it into the mixture, and it will dry within the jar. That's fine too. And then you're going to do parsley, 2 to 3 tablespoons parsley, 1 to 2 teaspoons of thyme, 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. This can be smoked or unsmoked, regular paprika. Then 1 teaspoon of turmeric and 1 tablespoon of black pepper. Put all that in there, shake it up. You are ready to go. No need to grind it down fine. It's not really a bouillon, it's a seasoning, but it's for pork and it's wonderful and amazing. It really adds a great flavor to any of your pork dishes. Bonus round. It's not a seasoning, but it is absolutely a kitchen staple and something to have in your pantry. And this is baking powder. And if you're baking something and you run out of baking powder or you don't have it or whatever, you're in a pinch. So here's how to make baking powder. You're going to take 1/2 cup of cream of tartar. And believe it or not, This is about a half a cup, this little container. Half a cup or a small container of cream of tartar, a fourth of a cup baking soda, and a fourth of a cup cornstarch or arrowroot powder. And that's going to give you all of this baking powder. So when you're in a pinch, that's how you make baking powder. You always wonder what that cream of tartar was for, right? So 9 seasonings, bonus round. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you again, everyone, for joining me today on our episode for seasonings to stock your pantry. Be sure and subscribe to this channel for more great things to come, more homesteading urban style, urban steading.